Hi, good afternoon. I'm Aiden. I'm Alan's daughter. This might be the first speech in my life I might not be able to get through. So, my dad used to say to me, said, Aiden, talking is all very well, but sometimes there are situations when words aren't enough. And I'd reply, Dad, I'm a political science student. What do you expect? We like the sound of our own voices. But as I was preparing the tribute to one of the greatest men I knew, and my own darling dad, I felt like my words had dried up. He was one of the hardest things I'd ever done. And I know that I can speak for lifetimes and still not do justice to the man my dad was. Daddy was so many things to so many people. The last couple of days we've heard about how he was a man of integrity in both business and his personal life, a compassionate and wise friend, a comedian, at least in his own head, the epitome of the godly elder, boss, brother, and friend. But to us, his family, and to me personally, it's the little things that others may not know about that we'll miss the most about him. He was a connoisseur of terrible dad jokes. He loved having his back scratched. He was a proper romantic, much more than I am. Every Valentine's without fail, he'd buy flowers, not just for my mom, but for us kids as well. He cried over rom-coms and wished, spoiler alert, that the couple in La La Land had ended up together. He loved singing, occasionally off-tune, especially Frank Sinatra. I know his FA family here can attest to that. He always tried to find the silver lining or a way to make things easier. Whenever the weather got too hot, he'd always tell us to think like a cat, because they were at home in any weather. I got so tired of hearing that phrase. But most of all, he was a man who deeply, deeply cared. About a decade ago, we went on holiday to Sydney Harbour in Australia, and I had one of those now old-fashioned handheld cameras, filming a no doubt terrible home movie. For some reason, I was so engrossed in filming that I stepped off the pier and nearly plummeted into the harbor. I thankfully managed to grab hold of one of the railings, and that's when my dad saw me dangling off the edge. So with a look of sheer panic, he rushed to the edge, and he reached out towards me and he yelled, "The camera!" I used to tease him about his priorities, but I never once doubted that if I had fallen, my dad would have been the first to dive after me without regard for his own personal safety. Whenever we needed help, Dad would drop everything to fix it for us, even when he didn't have to, or even when he shouldn't have. For years, he used this ancient brick of a phone that had a mind of its own, and it exasperated us no end because it would keep calling us in the middle of the night for no reason. But I know to him, his needs came so far below ours. He was really happy to go without if it meant the rest of us would have more. He not only deeply cared about our physical state, but our emotional and spiritual state too. The first winter I spent away from home in the UK, he sent me an email. He worried that the longer nights and shorter days would take its toll on my emotional state. I'd never even said anything to him, but he preemptively wrote me practically an entire essay on suggestions on how to cope, because he didn't want even a glimmer of sadness in my life. Everyone's been sharing about my dad's often cheesy sense of humor and how he liked to tease us all. I know he did this because he wanted to spread joy wherever he went. He loved hearing us laugh. In fact, his last text to our family group chat only hours before he died was talking about how boring I supposedly was because I had no funny stories to share about my day that day. Sorry, Dad. I'm sure you'll have plenty of opportunity to laugh at my days in the years to come. Dad loved God so much, and he always shared that love and faith with us. It was a cornerstone of who he was. Every single night without fail, before my brother and I went to bed, he'd say a blessing over us. But he shared this love not just with us, his family, but everyone around him. All of you here are a testament to how many lives he's touched. In the days after my dad's passing, I'd be stopped by random people. One of the cleaning ladies in our building, the guards at the gate. They took time to tell me how much my dad showed he cared. One said that she cried for hours, even if she barely knew him, because of how much his life and caring had touched her. So these last few days have been the hardest of our lives, but the love and support we've gotten from all of you, friends and family from church and work and school and elsewhere, has been so overwhelming. Words cannot express how grateful I am. I know that this is your way of reflecting back to the love and generosity my dad had for everyone around him. Daddy, I know all you wanted was the best for us, for my mom, for Handal, for me, your baby girl. And so, I promise to make you proud. Thank you.